So I'm with my friend John Atack in Nottingham, England. John, it's a pleasure.
As ever. This
And
is something that we do regularly, and it's a good thing to do. Um, and you've been suddenly having written this great book, the Cult of Trump. It really is. It's a great book. I really like it. I'm not saying that just because I've known you for 30 years and you paid me money to say it,
sure.
but Dr. Steve Hassan, wow, I'm having to get used to that. But the, this book is suddenly popular. You know, now that the wolf has gone and we don't need to be scared about him coming and biting us, we can admit like Mitch McConnell has. Never liked him really. I just backed him up to the hilt in case I lost my job. You know, that we are seeing some strange things. But your book, you've now suddenly again become a celebrity, and you're being interviewed on media again.
yeah, I think the key was the insurrection on January 6th, where people showed up trying to abduct and possibly kill congressmen and senators. It finally drove the point home. These people are not thinking, and they are saying they're patriots. They're believing that they're American patriots. That Trump won the election by a landslide, and now they're being arrested and charged and saying, well, the president invited me, etc. And he didn't pardon them, as far as we know. But anyway, the point is the media is now going, yeah, they're acting like cult members. So it's great to be able to have the opportunity to share my life work and your work as well.
And curious that it kind of proves that the media has been functioning as a cult since the book was published, at least,
The
because
media,
they didn't want
yes.
to go near this idea. And now you've been proved to be absolutely right in what you said, and now we're into this thing of, oh yeah, it's the cult of, now you've almost single-handedly reintroduced this popular concept of things being cults.
And I might like to add that after I did my CNN morning interview this week, Friedman of the New York Times, that's written endless numbers of books, wrote an op-ed saying we all need to be deprogrammed.
Yeah.
I was like, great, wonderful.
And this
In the
takes us to,
meantime, Fox and the right wing are saying, can you believe this cult expert thinks all Americans need to be deprogrammed?
and
And
it's
that
that,
got picked up.
yeah, that Fox suddenly, Hannity, yeah, on Fox,
Yeah.
and Dr. Hassan, we have to call you that now. Um,
You don't have to, but it's nice. I
it
worked hard.
must be, you worked hard for it, yeah. I mean, you were saying how surprising it was at first when an interviewer would say, "Well, Dr. Hassan," and you go, "Oh, you're talking to me."
Yeah, the first major one was with Katie Couric, and it starts with Dr. Hassan.
Yeah,
And I was like, wow, I've arrived. I'm
yeah.
now no longer just an expert. Now I'm certified by the establishment.
Ah.
But
But you found yourself on Fox News, and there's this interesting statement, that you feel that America needs to be deprogrammed. Okay,
yeah, I said that on CNN, and
that is
Kennedy
why
took
Fox
an
picked it up.
excerpt and ignored a lot of the content of the interview and
Yeah.
just said, can you believe this guy? He thinks that America needs deprogramming. But needless to say, since the book came out, I've been hearing from Trump supporters that I'm in the cult. I've been brainwashed by the left-wing media. I'm in the cult of Soros, etc., etc. So I thought that would be fair to just say we need to deprogram. Everyone needs to be
Yeah,
deprogrammed.
let's all of us go through truth and
And then I
reconciliation.
threw in at the last minute, because 3 in the morning before I went to the studio, I thought, why not throw out the idea of being called to testify to Congress about what is a cult and what is mind control, since there's so many Trump supporters who think that the election was stolen, a couple of QAnon overtly deep QAnon. Why not say, invite me, I can bring my colleagues, and we can be grilled by both sides. right?
Yeah, and it's congressional hearings would be a very good way of investigating what's become a tremendous problem in politics around the world, but especially in the US, where you have two parties. One face, in Italy, they've got 47 political parties,
Yeah.
two parties with one, or, and it's so reminiscent of, say, the Blues and the Greens in the Roman Empire, who were the fans of the chariot racers. And there are emperors who are put in position by one of these factions,
Yep.
like football fans or something, ruling the country
Yep.
because of this passion, this certainty that you are now part of the right group, and you
Yep.
can merge your identity with the group and protect the group as if it were, your very baby,
Right.
and cultic in behavior, which I think we've seen all through society. The
Right.
authoritarian, the kind of shut up and listen version of reality that comes from both sides.
So as we both agree, the enemy, if we can name an enemy, is authoritarianism
Yes.
versus human rights, democracy, free speech, freedom to assemble, read whatever you want to read, and the right to leave a belief system or a group without fear of punishment or attack or
Yeah.
something.
Without being shunned or imprisoned or beaten. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a change. It's a change that has to come, as the song says. That is the change that has to come. Realizing that we don't need bullies in charge of us. There can be competent leaders instead who actually care about people. We don't need narcissists leading us, and we don't need to be obedient in thought, word, and deed. We need to be properly disobedient. In a seemly manner, in a decent way, but we need to teach kids to be able to assert themselves and talk about what they are thinking and feeling, be able to
Yep.
express themselves, and not have to agree because the book says it's the way, the truth, and the life.
Yeah, exactly.
So our whole system has actually brainwashed our whole society into being a cult, devoted to the service of a leader or an idea.
Yep, and I would add that one of the real blind spots for Americans is this indoctrination of a sort that we're exceptional, like we're so above
We're
everybody
the
else
elites. Yeah.
on the world, when in fact we have such low rates of education, even infant mortality. We don't have one healthcare system for all. There's so many problems with the United States that we really are going to need to really be humble and reflect and think about how we want to make things be changed to the better, not go back to the way it was before. And the biggest fear I have, I'm going to need to go in a minute, but my biggest fear is all the authoritarian cults that were in the cult of Trump
Yeah.
and their resistance to the idea of getting a scientifically valid construct for how to evaluate authoritarian control. So it's not
Instead,
going to
just
be simple.
it isn't, and it veers off into paranoia that people on both sides, and one can understand a very high level of anxiety in today's world, given the offending players and the weapons they have. This isn't
Yep.
just a game on TV.
Yeah, when you
Iran
say weapons, you include psyops, I'm sure.
PsyOps has become the one of the major expenditures, and the US is doing it, and we're not hearing a word about it. Snowden came out and showed us how deeply it was being done. Even all the Western allies would be, Angela Merkel's phone was tapped.
Yeah, I remember that actually. So, my friend, I have
Yep.
another appointment. It's a
Yes.
pleasure, and
As ever.
we'll check in again next week, and we'll continue the conversation. Continued success. And when is your book, Opening Minds, coming out?
We're hoping in a couple of weeks' time, maybe
Great.
3 weeks' time, but in
I
February.
definitely want to promote it. So
Great.
when it's ready, we'll definitely do a special on that.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Hi, John here. Thanks for watching. We'd appreciate it very much if you would click like, as well as subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Every dollar helps, and we welcome new patrons on Patreon, or you can make a one-off payment with any currency through PayPal. Thanks so much.